Alright, let's do this again. I don't know if you guys could see what I could see. Let me back up a little bit. Notice that space. Notice this space. Alright, let's take this off. Okay. If you look at that, there's barely any space here. And if you look at this here, whoa, what's happening there? That doesn't look right. There's a special tool when you install these things that is needed. It seems like a lot of people don't have one. And it's not an expensive tool, but it's definitely a necessary tool. And I'm going to show it to you right now. A level. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, wow. Maybe that's the reason why it's doing that. Isn't that crazy? Hold on, I didn't have it right. I'm getting ahead of myself here. No, there it is. Bubble's one-sided. Yeah, you need this tool. It's not an expensive tool. But when it's not level, this is what happens. It's called telescoping. And it bunches up. Makes it look like crap. So now, got to reinstall this whole thing. Alright, see you in a minute. Alright, well there's two set screws here. Pretty much just so the rotor doesn't fall out of the bracketing. And see, in this one you could barely get to it because of the telescoping. So the way this works is one side is spring loaded, the other one is not. The motor side is normally not. Let's see, and this is the motor side. Alright, can't do this and hold the camera at the same time, so I'll see you back in a minute. Alright, so this is what happens when it's not mounted level. It starts to telescope. On this side it doesn't create any damage, but on the other side, as you can see that, it'll end up rubbing against the case or the wiring, and then it could ruin the fabric. You gotta redo the whole job. And like I was saying earlier, just need one of these, little level. It'll take care of those problems every time. But not from Dollar Tree or the dollar store or anything. You gotta at least go to Home Depot and get a level. Yeah, some people will say, it's still in between the lines, but I don't know if you noticed, the bubble is one-sided all the way to the left. And that's why that telescoping was happening. I'm not upset about this one. I have to move it down anyway, because not that it was an improper installation, but it wasn't a functional one. And you'll see why in a little bit. Just a little tip here, if you ever installed these lutron shade covers, and they have these little end caps, always seem to fall out. Alright, what you could do is get your crimpers, which is another tool you should have. Very important. Alright, and if you just give it a slight crimp, not too much, you ain't trying to go through it, just give it a little crimp, another little crimp, another little crimp right here. Like I said, it's not much. You don't need to see who's got the strongest grip, but just a little crimp. Now when you put these in, they'll be a little harder to put in, but now they don't come out. Isn't that cool? There you go. No charge for that one. Alright, so what was done here was, shade used to be up there. So what was happening is, as this shade was coming down, You had a big old gap here that people could see through, because the other shade was coming down all the way down here. So we mounted this to the actual window frame. That way it actually covers the window. Yeah, you'll see the finished product here shortly. Just hang tight. Alright. Sometimes in a situation like this one, where most of the top of the case is out in the air, you don't want to use these long ass screws that come with in the lutron pack. Use them when you can. They're great screws. Not too crazy about the head on them, but I use these little 1/2 inch tech screws. Find them anywhere. Hardware store, that is, not at the dollar store. Tech screws, self tappers, phenomenal. Might leave it in the link down below. Alright, so this is where we're at right now. Give me a few more minutes. Alright, plugged in the power supply. Let's see what happens. Alright, that's what I was talking about there. That shade's coming down. Almost touching that one, but almost doesn't count. Wanted to make it as tight as possible. Let's see what's going on here. Hit the shade. See what happens. Rolling up. Let's get a little closer. Not too shabby. One thing I want to see. Up. Look at that. No telescoping. No telescoping. Equal spacing throughout. Look, we could even get to the motor. All right, got some limits to adjust. Over and out.